Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. This week marks at least a partial changing of the political guard here in Barnstable. On Wednesday, January 5th, 3 new state legislators representing the town, either in part or in its entirety, will be sworn in and will officially take office on Beacon Hill. Republican David Vieira is set to take his experience as longtime Falmouth town meeting moderator to Beacon Hill. Vieira will represent the 3rd Barnstable district after upsetting Democratic incumbent Matt Patrick in the November election. Another Republican, former Sandwich Selectman Randy Hunt, will join Vieira in the House as the 5th Barnstable district representative. Hunt bested Democrat and former county commissioner Lance Lambros for the seat, which Representative Jeff Perry vacated to run for Congress. The 3rd and final freshman legislator being sworn in on Wednesday is Dan Wolf, a Democrat who's best known as the CEO of Cape Air. Wolf defeated Barnstable Town Councilor Jim Crocker in the race for the vacant Cape and Island State Senate seat, given up by Rob O'Leary, who, like Perry, made an unsuccessful congressional bid. On the eve of his swearing-in ceremony, Wolf joined us on Barnstable this morning to talk about his first run for political office, his mindset just hours before he takes that office, and his priorities for the upcoming legislative session. I'm really curious to know what types of thoughts and emotions are running through your head on the eve of such a big day.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, as the day approaches, it really, the whole issue of public trust and what it means to serve in our government as a public official is just, it's really overwhelming, Nick. It's a very powerful feeling. I take it very seriously, even though I intend to do the job with adequate doses of both humility and humor. But I'm really looking forward to it. Take it seriously, understand the responsibility of representing all of the people in the district. And we do have a lot of important issues, both at a statewide level and in the district, that I'm looking forward to hitting the ground running on.
I want to look back briefly on your campaign, which was, as far as state Senate races are concerned anyway, extremely expensive. Now, granted, you were being supported by several outside organizations other than just your direct campaign fund, but I wonder how you feel about it in retrospect. Was it excessive?
Well, part of the learning experience is that to really increase access for more people to get into the political process, we really do need to look at serious reform relative to election and campaign reform. And I certainly will be involved in that because I strongly believe in it. As far as the expense of the campaign, it's a big district. It's a diverse district, geographically spread out. And I had never run for office before. So that, we knew at the beginning it was going to require a significant investment and a lot of resources to get our word out. As you said, a lot of money came from the outside. We raised almost $210,000 from outside donors. And then, as you know, with the new Supreme Court ruling last year, outside interests advertised on our behalf without us even knowing about it. So a lot of the mailings that people got, and I did hear from people, stop the mailings already. But a lot of those mailings we didn't know were coming, and we didn't, we had no control over that. So the answer is yes. I think what the money in politics is excessive. I think in this election cycle, until we look at changing the laws and how we do it, it's going to remain that way. So I look forward as a legislator to seeing what we can do about that.
Dan, how does your position as CEO of Cape Air, how does that prepare you well for what you're about to do in the new chapter of your life here?
Well, there's no question, Nick, that the most important issue facing us right now is the economy. And the engine of our economy is small business here in this district. And Cape Air started with 5 people and 1 airplane. And even though we've grown successfully to be we have close to 1,000 employees now, I really still understand very well how government can work with small business to help small business be successful, not get in the way, identify areas for opportunity, identify, how a business plan is going to work, how we can finance that business plan, and then again, what the appropriate role of government is. So I think the last 25 years in business here in this district, I think has really well prepared me to help stimulate and grow an economy which is really hurting after the last 2 or 3 years.
So when you head to Beacon Hill, you'll be sworn in tomorrow. The legislative session will get going in earnest shortly after. Clearly, it would seem that economic development here on Cape Cod is a big issue for you. So talk to us about some of the things that you hope to work on to make that happen.
Well, already been having meetings. We have selected a staff. We'll have 5 staff and me working on this, so we have a robust capacity here to get a lot done. We've been having meetings, and what we're doing next, structuring my office, is we're setting up advisory groups in a lot of different areas. One of the advisory groups, for example, in energy. We're identifying what economic development opportunities exist in energy. As you know, we built the largest solar project in southeastern Mass on the hangar of Cape Air's hangar here in Hyannis. And that type of project is really doable. It's kind of complicated from a bureaucratic standpoint, but we're going to look for ways to get energy conservation, efficiency, and small-scale renewable projects part of the economic development and growth opportunity going forward. Maritime opportunities, we've already met with our fishing group. I had one really good meeting, looking forward to more. How to protect the fishery, how to support our fishing industry, how to continue to develop and grow our aquaculture opportunities here in the Cape and Island region is really important. I think aquaculture has huge potential opportunity, and we also have a fishing industry that really we need to work with to protect and grow. In addition to that, there are other maritime economy research and development on the scientific end in conjunction with Woods Hole, but even beyond that. Again, the tourism sector, we need to continue to work with the Chamber of Commerce's and the other business organizations. That is the mainstay of our economy here, so we're going to work on that. So energy, tourism, maritime economy, all of those are issues that we're going to be working on, and we already have, in fact.
Finally, Dan, speaking of resources, on Beacon Hill, it doesn't seem like there will be a great deal to leverage. You go into a legislative session where there will be a budgetary process involving potentially $1.5 or more billion in cuts to the state budget. How do you feel about that, facing that down as you just enter into the Senate?
It's very problematic, Rick. I mean, we expect a lot out of our government. We expect an infrastructure that works. We expect good education, good roads and that kind of thing, good transportation. So I think it's problematic. We've got to really look at it. As you know, I think I served on the Department of Conservation and Recreation Stewardship Council for the last 7 years, and that organization oversees all of the state parks, all of the playgrounds, skating rinks, beaches, bike paths in the Commonwealth. And our budget went from $120 million about 7 years ago when I was put on the council, down to around 70 to 75 million right now.
Wow.
And that's and looking at another 10% cut at least this year. So when we put that kind of strain on the resources of government, we have to be realistic about what government can deliver.
Right.
So there's going to be a very rich discussion both on the cost-cutting and expense side, and also looking for opportunities on the revenue side. Being the eternal optimist, I actually think the economy is starting to show healthy signs of recovery. As that happens, we'll see state revenues come up. And recently, I think in the last 6 months, we've brought in about $500 million more than we were anticipating. So hopefully that trend will continue, and the $1.5 billion will not only have to be met through cutting expense, but also we'll see revenue address some of that as well.
We're happy to say that the soon-to-be Senator Wolf will be a weekly fixture on Barnstable this morning. You can catch him each Tuesday at 8:40 a.m. Additionally, we expect to add Representatives Vieira and Hunt to our guest list in the near future. Now, let's take a look at this week's remaining meetings. Wednesday, January 5th, the Zoning Board of Appeals meets in the Town Hall hearing room at 7 p.m. Also at 7, the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission meets in the Selectmen's Conference Room. On Thursday, January 6th, the Town Council meets in the Town Hall hearing room at 7 p.m. Well, that's all for now. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.